In order to do that, I have to go up in the attic. And I don't think we've ever discussed this. Most of you probably don't even know it has its own attic. I have never been up here. So, after looking at the work of getting that outlet in, I'm still going to put it in, but I've only got enough wire to run 2 more circuits, and then I got to buy a little bit more, so I'm trying to decide which ones I want to do right now. Now, I also want to finish up the lights because that really helps. It's one thing I probably should prioritize if I'm going to be running any circuits. And there's one that I've really been avoiding. So in the garage here, you'll see a whole bunch of appliances now. Santa went on auction and struck gold. She got appliances for both of the apartments and managed to get them all for about $700. That's pretty impressive. So to get the lights in the garage, and I'm planning to have decent lighting in here just because of all the different things I do. It's nice to have not just a well-lit environment, but an evenly lit environment. So what I would plan to do is probably have a series of puck lights going all the way around the garage and on a dimmer, so it doesn't have to be outrageously bright where you go blind. In order to do that, I have to go up in the attic, and I don't think we've ever discussed this. Most of you probably don't even know it has its own attic. I have never been up here. So we're going to explore this together. Now I discovered, and this is really cool, I only learned this recently, that my phone has a flashlight built into the camera, so this should make it a lot easier going up there. So, oh, please don't be anything weird or gross. Okay. Oh, there's stuff up here. Huh. Yeah, I never even thought there might be things up here, but there's a few things anyway. This is strange. Huh. It'll be pretty easy to work with this. What is that? Is that not on the other side? Huh. Says something over top. Oh, what were you doing, Mr. Previous Homeowner? Interesting. Okay. Luggage. A bag of something, I don't want to know what it is. Well, there's no animals up here. I'm not seeing any mouse turds either. No insulation. That's nice. Alright. So this is a more traditionally framed roof, so it's going to be a lot easier to work with on my part. But I got some vinyl siding that doesn't match anything here. I got some more of that. Interesting. So this garage was clearly an add-on. There's the original soffit. And yeah, well preserved. So the garage was an addition. I think I already knew that though. Thinking, is this drywall? Nope, that is plywood. So that's going to be a bit of a pain to work with. Probably going to want to cut some of that out. I'm going to hop down and see what the alternative is, but I can tell you one thing. If I get a wire up here, this is going to be real easy to fish around. What won't be easy to deal with is getting wires down for the outlets. But I'm pretty sure those lines were cut off. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Pretty sure those lines were cut off, so if that's the case, he wouldn't have had the ability to really tamper with them either. So I'll have a look at them, but they're probably fine. I might be able to just reconnect them. The only issue with those is that they're probably on meant for a 15 amp circuit. Most of the stuff I run, I'd really prefer a 20 amp circuit hooked up to them. I want to know what's in this. Do not open with a knife. What is this? Natural liner. Liner? 8 bags of 25. Liner for what? Ugh. What kind of liners? Oh, pads. That's what they mean. I was expecting that to be much worse, so call that a victory. I'm going to mull this over and see how I'm going to route that line. I see a couple possible routes. Shouldn't be that bad, really. Alright, so I did a little bit of probing around, and I think I may have put together a game plan. So let's have a look. So this wire that's dangling, and I have a habit of letting these things dangle just because it reminds me what was there, how things were, and it helps me put things back together, you know, kind of the way they belong. So, you know, it's nice to get things out of the way and just snip things off, but it can also, you know, set you back a little bit at the same time. So what I'm seeing here, and maybe I'll turn this. Oh, is the light already on? It is. Don't need it anyway. So there's no insulation up here. So that's the sheathing we saw on the other side in the other attic. So we're looking at the inside of the wall here. So I can access it very easily from right here. I take this insulation off. And on the other side of this wall here, got appliances in the way, but is this right here. So once I get in here, I've basically got access. This is the wrong cavity though. I'm going to move it over one, so I'm just going to disregard that for right now. But behind this fridge, once I pull it back, I want a light switch here, and that's going to be a 3-way switch, which is going to lead to this light box. So this here, I don't actually know what was going on here, but I don't think it was kept original. This is on a 3-way switch, and this goes to the exterior light. So my assumption is at one point, both of these exterior lights, the one by the garage that's right here, turn that back on I guess, and the one by the front door were switched on the same circuit. That's no longer the case, and it's not a big deal. I don't mind it switching from right here on, just a regular two-way switch. So the lighting for or the wiring for the light is good, and it's right there, so I'll leave that. So this is going to become a 2-gang box, and I'm going to have a switch here and a switch by this door that are both going to operate the main lights throughout the garage. So to access this, because this is OSB paneling, it should be pretty removable, especially since I'm positive it was nailed in. So there's a bit of caulking here, so it just butts up to this framing here for the garage door. That's pretty typical. So I'm going to cut in there. I'm going to remove this trim and that trim and the one above after I strip down all these crazy wires everywhere and cobwebs. My goodness, haven't touched those yet. And I should be able to remove this panel. Once it's removed, it's going to be very easy. So I want as much access from underneath as possible, because up in the attic, this is an older style of construction. Nowadays, the trusses are raised up off of the exterior walls a bit, and it gives us a lot of access to add ventilation and other things, like even the bath vents. Typically, I would prefer those vented out the soffit. It's just a little bit better, really. But I have to vent it out the roof, because the only space I have, the only gap going out to the soffit is about 1 inch. So it's not nearly enough to put a 4-inch duct out there. It's just enough that I can get a baffle vent through, to do vented soffits. But not much more than that, unfortunately. It's just the way things used to be done. And ventilation and other things are really the reason that we raise the heels of the trusses now. So at any rate, I don't want to rely on crawling all the way into the crevice by these exterior walls. So if I open that OSB, if I open up that wall cavity and drill straight up, what I can do is, as I'm putting the wire through, I give it a little bit of a bend, and then push it through. And what that does is it forces it to curl and go the direction I want it to go. So as I push it through, it'll come out just far enough that I can grab it without having to go all the way in to the into the exterior wall from the attic space. So that's kind of my plan there, because once I got it into the attic space, I can move it around quite easily. So this is a really cool discovery. This is an insulated garage. That's awesome, because even a little bit of insulation means I can actually heat this space. And even the door, I mean, terrible condition as it is. These are insulated panels. So obviously the garage needs work, but apart from the attic, it's fully insulated. The attic is probably the easiest part to get done, because it's always exposed and ready to go. So this is pretty awesome. See, I got another wire coming out the top here. I'll bring you over to see. So with everything exposed the way it is, this is pretty cool. So there's a second wire here coming out the top, going up. So that is feeding another light somewhere, and I'm eager to know exactly where that is. I would have assumed that this was the only light off this switch, but because the other light was definitely wired only where it was. So that's interesting. And then this gray line here, this is an exterior grade 3-pole line. So I don't even know where this goes. That's interesting, but it goes in and it goes through the wall. My guess, I suppose, you know what? It might be one of those lines that the previous homeowner killed up inside the attic space. That would make sense, because otherwise it probably dropped down into that box by the front door, in which case the switch here, as well as the switch over on the other side, would have powered up all these exterior lights. So it's my best guess, but there's no other switches that I know of. I've explored this house inch by inch, so that's, I guess, a mystery that'll remain a mystery. All right, so rather annoying game I'm playing there. So this is actually drywall, and I'm pretty sure this is actually in the run I want. So we have a door here, which means that we're probably going to put our switch right about here. I'm going to get the stud finder on this, and I'm going to locate. So what we can do, this is likely in the right cavity. So if I remove this, and I remove this box, which is coming out anyway, and put this here, I can fish a line through, and once it's here, I can fish it to the light box, then fish it to here, and then fish it the rest of the way just by hand. I don't have to get anything else involved. So that's pretty cool. This has to be patched anyway. This is getting removed. This is the wire you saw dangling on the other side. So once I get a wire up to here, I'm going to run a 3-way or a 3-pole line up to the other switch box, and from there it's even easier. I just have to run my regular line up and then to whatever holes I drill in the wall. So let's get this started. I'm going to start by removing this, cutting out this, and removing this, and we'll go from there. Unfortunately, it's tight space, so we'll see how easily this gets done. So this light switch, I'm going to have it just slightly higher than I typically would, just because you open this door, sometimes you just want to reach around and turn the light switch off. So I put it a few inches higher just because from a lower elevation it should be about here, but I'm putting it about here, that way you can kind of just reach around from the inside. exterior sheathing. And you'll notice this is the sheathing that was originally on the entire house. I went through it with the drywall knife. That's kind of sad. So I got access all 3 holes there, and they're all in the same cavity. So we'll see how this goes. I really don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to find out. Alright, so I moved over here with the ladder. Looking like cramped quarters. And I really just want to see if this line is stapled in or not. Oh, and it moves freely. That's pretty cool. And there's a little bit of extra room in there. So I can get away with tying this line to the new 3-way line and just pulling it straight through. So once I get it through to the attic space up there, I can just drill through higher up and drop it down, and from there I can easily bring it in to the other side. Although I might do it the other way around. Yeah, I'm going to bring it through the other side in. If I bring it through this side, I wind up having to crawl into that really narrow space at the end of the attic. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring it up through there. I'm going to tie it to this and then pull this through over here. And from there, I'll be able to pull it down into the cavity and into the light switch area. So I'm going to get that started right away. And once that's in there, I'm going to get the easier line, which is just the hot line up. I just got to follow the same line I drilled for the outlet down below and then bring it up to the light switch. Once I get that, I've got power in, and then I just got to drill out where the lights are going and run the line. Alright, so we're up in the attic here. I won't be able to deal with you again in a sec, so I'm just gonna try and get a good placement for the camera right now. That should do. Got it. Alright, so here's the other side. Clearly I pulled out way more than enough. So I'll be pulling a bunch of that back up. That's fine. You can always reel it back up. So now I'm going to take out this junky insulation right there. That piece has to go anyway. So I'm going to remove that. I'm probably going to cut it off a little bit closer and just ditch that line. And then I'm going to attach this line to the end of this and pull it through that way. So I got to get this line into this hole, which in theory shouldn't be that bad. We're going to find out. What I really want to hear is that scraping against the drywall. So the challenge here is because we're on the outside, we're on the fuzzy end of the insulation. So here in Michigan, and so far as I understand, most of the United States, they still use paper-backed insulation. And with the paper-backed insulation, when you're fishing like this on the inside, it's not so bad. You just got to make sure you're on the paper side. But when you're on the back side, it likes to hang up on the insulation itself, which is a real pain. I can do this the other way. I can try and run this up straight to there. It's a lot more rigid, so hopefully I'll have better luck. There we go. We're through. There's one line. So now we're going to hop down to the basement, and we're going to run the hot line to the switch, and then we're going to go to the other switch panel, and we're going to run the lights up after I drill them out. And once those lines are up, I'm going to go into the attic, and then I'm going to staple everything down. I'm going to leave this reel hooked up just the way it is for right now with the 3-pole line, because I'm going to go up there, I'm going to staple everything all at once, and then I'm going to cut it off. So let's run the hot line, and might get lights in here by the end of the day. Well, actually, I don't even have the lights, but we'll get all the wires run and all the hard work done. So let's focus on that. If we get the hard work done, we're doing pretty good. And just remember, if you're liking the channel and you want to see more of this content, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. It goes a long way to help the channel, and Lord knows I could use the help. Even the battery's given up on me. But I have not given up on this project. I think we're making excellent progress. We're actually making really good time. And yeah, I want to see it through. You know, this is a life investment for you know, my family. So I don't mind putting in the effort. So let's go ahead and get this done, and we'll see how far we make it tonight. All right, so the goal here is I'm gonna tie into this light switch here. I'll throw it in with the basement lights. There's not too many on there, and for LEDs we have a lot of capacity left. So this box doesn't have too much going on in it. This one's quite busy, so I'll throw it in here, and we've already got one hole right there. So on the other side here, I'm basically gonna do a beeline all the way across, and then I'm gonna go up with this line here and tie into that box. And this line, of course, is getting replaced. It's not currently live. This was my temporary line. I didn't have enough of this 12 gauge to make it all the way back, so I already found a place to put it to. So I'm gonna disconnect this whenever I get to it, and I'm gonna pull it back to about here. Oh, that's loose. And I'm gonna bring it down and do an outlet somewhere around here for the sump pump, and that'll use that up quite well. So the goal, that line, I knew, of course, that you know, it was temporary, it wouldn't be enough, but I don't want to waste that much wire. So I put it up on the assumption it would just become, you know, another line. And I'd get, you know, some more line in and run something a little more full out to the garage. And I'll be able to do that, that's not a problem. I can run, you know, to the existing box and up, or, you know, I can just tie into the other outlets. So I did find the wire to the other outlets, and I'll show you that when I get a chance. It's really cluttered in the garage. So what I have to do in there essentially is tie into one of the outlets and just, I'm gonna maybe do an ohms reading test around the other outlets and to the line going up that I'm assuming is powering them up, which is a 12 gauge line, which is great. I can throw a 20 amp circuit on there, or a 20 amp breaker, I should say. So I need to test and make sure that those are connected to that line and nothing else. And I can bring in a new line and attach to that. And as far as the outlet box I have, I can either kill it or just, you know, throw another line up there. I don't mind doing that. It's nice to have, you know, separate circuits. If I happen to be running multiple pieces of equipment or what have you, you know, it's just the whole theory behind the kitchen, for instance. You know, you need a minimum of two 20 amp circuits, 40 amps total. And the reason for that is, you know, kitchen appliances nowadays have a lot of electrical needs. So, you know, if you're running too much off the same circuit, you'll kick out the breaker. So having multiple circuits in a high functioning area is ideal. So I'm probably going to take advantage of the box I already have up there and just throw another line in. And I'm going to tie into the existing line because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that from what I can tell. There wasn't any tampering. There was a little bit of tampering with the lights going on up there, but I'm going to disconnect to that other line, and I'm not going to reconnect anything until I know exactly what's going on with it. So let's drill this out. We're going to throw this line in. Shouldn't take too long. Go up and see if we got it. So, oh wow, that's it. Huh. That might have been the best one yet. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, let's staple off down below, cut that line, and we'll keep working in the garage. So I started pretty late today, and I just realized how late it's getting. It's pretty late here, so I'm gonna shut things down for the time being. Tomorrow, when I come in, there's a ton of clutter in here, which is gonna present quite a bit of an issue. I'm just gonna leave the clutter for right now. All I have to do is drill these holes, and I can work around all this nonsense I got here. It's crazy in here. I've been slowly moving into the property as well as sorting and organizing stuff. So that's one of the things I do off camera. But once I get these drilled, I got 9 holes to drill. So essentially I got to get the dimensions, the length by the width. And once I have those, I kind of just take my measurements and drill through the 9 holes where I want to put my puck lights. And the benefit of the puck lights and why I like them for a garage is you can get them so they're only about ½ an inch thick. Because especially a layout like this where the ceiling joists are 16 inches on center, and doing this many, there's a very good chance I run into one of them. So when you're using the ½ inch pucks, you can actually, they're essentially the thickness of the substrate you're attaching them to. So it's not really a hindrance. You can just drill through the, in this case, the OSB. You put them in, and even if there's a joist directly above, it can still flush up to the ceiling. So that's what I'm going to do, and once I get those in, I can run the wire. And for this, I'm going to run one wire basically all the way through, and then loop it through each of the holes and get everything stapled at once. I'd like to get all the attic work done all together. So when I come in, that's going to be the goal. And hopefully just throwing those lights in right after. Having lights in here is going to be a big deal for me because I know it's very cluttered, but I actually spend a lot of time in this garage, mostly just looking for stuff. So being able to look without a flashlight is going to be really awesome. All right, so I'm signing off for tonight, and I will see you first thing in the morning. Well, no, I got to work in the morning, so I'll see you first thing tomorrow afternoon, evening. We'll see. Anyway, till then, bye.